I think one of the most underrated aspects of being overweight that ultimately keeps people overweight is this idea of wanting to be perfect. This desire for like a black and white approach to fitness, to health, to training, to anything that goes into losing weight or being overweight. Like, I have to eat this amount of calories every day or I'm not perfect. I have to do this amount of cardio every day or I'm not perfect. I got to do this thing or I'm not perfect. And I truly believe that that aspect is something that keeps a lot of people overweight, even though they try really hard not to be.
All right, right off the bat, and I'm gonna try my best to let him get off whatever he gonna get off, and I got no ill intent by anything I may or may not say, but hey, so right off the bat, I don't know if people, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if people are stuck on the mindset of if I gotta be perfect, I gotta be perfect, and if you are, I mean, I don't get it. If you go to a dietitian, nutritionist, whatever they call, and they say, yeah, to go ahead and hit this goal, you need 2,500 calories a day. If you eat those 2,500 calories a day appropriately, let's say over the course of 3 months, because that's how long that's how long it's going to take to reach your goal. That's what you need to do. The more you don't be perfect, the further your goal is going to move. You're going to move the goalpost yourself, which is not a bad thing. I mean, you don't have to be perfect. It don't have to be a time constraint. But I'm just saying, right off the bat, that's my initial take. Now let's see if we can get through this intro real quick. Shout out to Abdul Aesthetics. That's who made this video, by the way. Abdul Aesthetics. Damn, what? I told y'all when the camera's on, words don't work. Abdul Aesthetics. Let's go.
I have been on several weight loss journeys in my life, but when I specifically started this one, I said, you know what? I'm not going to overcomplicate this thing. I'm not going to allow this black and white mindset to really destroy me. I'm not going to allow any of my old ways to control me as much as they used to be. And it has been a struggle, right? We went from 403, 404 to now we in the 370s, and we're making good progress. We're doing good work.
Shouts
But
out to
that
him.
aspect of the black and white mindset is still there and is still in full effect. Because if you're anything like me, then you've been overweight for a very long time. Like, I've mentally and physically, I have been overweight for my entire life. And that's not an exaggeration.
I don't know
Even
what
when I was
mentally
220,
overweight means.
just started working out seriously, got my first gym membership, and I was really taking the gym serious. Even back then, I still felt like how I look now, right? I still felt like it was never.
Okay. I got you. I'm gonna make sure I pause the video when I'm talking from now on. But okay. He's saying he got some body dysmorphia. All right, happens to the best of us. Okay,
good enough. I would never achieve anything close to perfection, but that was because I still believed in perfection. I still believed that I could be perfect. Things had to be a certain way for me to feel happy. That also stops you from having a good experience when it comes to just being comfortable in your own skin. When you set out to say, all right, I'm going to lose X amount of weight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you put yourself in such a weird position, because there are so many people out here who have attempted to lose weight, who have attempted to be consistent with weight loss, who have attempted to do all of these things, and they ultimately fail because they're trying to do new things with an old mechanism. They're trying to create new ways of operation while still feeding from old energy sources, and it just never works out, because the old you is always going to keep you in the position that you are ultimately in, which is a position that you don't like, right? This is why when you get too stressed out, you want to eat. This is why when you get too stressed out, you want to just move away from everybody. You want to be to yourself. You get too excited, you get too sad, food is always right there, all of these things, and you try to defeat that mindset, but you still go about it the old way, and that never works out, because the way that you operate now is pretty much all that you've ever known. It's not necessarily your fault, but now that you know this, it becomes your fault if you maintain the same way of thought. Does that make sense? What happens a lot of times?
No, it don't make sense. But let me try to extrapolate. Got some dashy going. Let me try to extrapolate what you were saying a little bit. If you were saying that you're starting, I guess, something, but you haven't mentally, you're like, okay, I want to lose weight, but at the same time, you're not fully ready to give up those bad habits. Then I guess yes, you're You're setting yourself up to fail. I don't know if that's what you're trying to say, but yes, I agree with that.
Times is we go out here to lose weight, right? Okay, I need to lose X amount of pounds. Could be 10, could be 100, could be 200, and any number in between. You say now, okay, I want to lose this weight for whatever reason. And because I don't like the way things are right now, I now have to put myself in a position to where things have to be perfect or I don't want it. Things have to be on point 1000% or I don't want it. If I even slip up on my diet one time, I suck. I'm always going to be fat. I'm going to crash out on myself. I'm about to start stress eating. If I don't lose.
Well, it's see the tough thing about this is that I observe from other people. I mean, I've never been overweight. I've been lucky to have a naturally skinny frame, so I've never dealt with it. But from the people I know that deal with it, it's kind of a slippery slope. If you're not so-called perfect and you do slip up once or twice, it's easy to fall back and keep going. Slip up again. Oh, it's just a slip up. Ah, slip up again. It's just a slip up. Eventually, you're gonna get on that hamster wheel to where it's like, man, I've been working out for 3 years and I can't lose weight. It's because you keep fucking slipping up.
3 pounds this week and I ultimately only lose 1, that's not good enough. I suck. I'm gonna stress eat.
Now I don't know about I suck. I'm gonna stress eat. I don't know about that one. If you slip up, it's cool. I mean, don't beat yourself up about it. I guess that's what he's saying. It's cool to slip up. Is that what you're saying?
I don't make the type of progress that I know I can make in the time frame that I know I can do it in, and whatever happens, life gets in the way, weight fluctuates, whatever, I'm gonna crash out. That's that black and white mindset. It's either all or nothing. If it's that way, I'm telling you right now, you are putting yourself in one of the worst possible positions, because the minute you do anything inconsistent, the minute life gets in the way, the minute the weight fluctuates, the minute you don't get enough sleep, the minute your job stresses you out, the minute you miss a workout for whatever reason, the minute you do any of these things that take you any type of percentage away from your path that you put yourself on to lose weight, you're going to crash out. You're going to crash out. And then that crashing out makes you want to continue to crash out, because that inconsistency is one of the biggest inconsistencies in your mind. You don't want to deal with this anymore. You don't want to be fat anymore. Trust me, I understand. I don't want to be fat anymore. I look at myself in the mirror and I'm happy for the progress that I made, but I still see remnants of the old version of myself, even though at this point I'm almost 30 pounds down, but it still feels like that same person that's 400 plus pounds, being sad, looking in the mirror, not being happy, just feeling sorry for myself. It's a horrible situation, but that comes with the territory. I said this a long time ago. When you decide to change your life, when you decide to change yourself, you now have to accept the fact and be willing to deal with the things that once stopped your progress, stare them in the face and say, I will not allow you to derail me anymore. You have to be willing to do that. If you're not willing to do that, then you're ultimately setting yourself up for failure. A lot of people may not understand.
Okay, yeah. So I don't remember everything what he said. I ain't gonna lie. But look, there ain't no reason to crash out, man. If you get to a point where you crashing out and that leads to you just saying, man, fuck it, I don't even want to do it no more. That is a problem. The other problem he said is being down 30 pounds and still be like, man, just kind of like, it's not good enough. Now, you need to find a happy medium. You need to be happy with the progress you made, but also not let that kind of, what I'm trying to say, overwhelm you with excitement to where you end up falling off because you get comfortable with that. Continue towards your goal, be happy for yourself, and keep working. That's it.
And what I mean when I say that, for example, I still have the desire, I still have the need to stress eat, even though I don't do it. I still want to stress eat when money gets short, when bills start piling up, when videos don't take off like I want them to, when I look in the mirror and I'm not happy, when I just feel low. I still want to stress eat, but I don't stress eat. I stress ate one time 6 weeks ago, and I was open about it. I talked about it, I put it out there, and then 6 weeks before that, I wanted to stress eat, but I didn't give into it. You have to be able to deal with the things that once derailed you, stare them in the face and say, you're not going to take me off this pivot anymore. That's just how it goes. A lot of people.
I mean, that's more of, see, it's kind of intertwined because that's more of a coping mechanism. Your coping mechanism is leading you towards the downfall of something else that you're trying to pursue. I don't know. I mean, yes, one has something to do with the other. If you stressing about work, so you stress eat, and that in turns derails your progress for weight loss or whatever it is. Yeah, I mean there's a point to be made there, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I ain't gonna lie.
In their mind, they're not.
I guess when it comes to dieting and losing weight, yes, in your mind, even though it's a coping mechanism, a bad habit that you gotta break, the point still stands that, hey man, calories in, calories out. If you stress eating, you know, feels bad, you know?
Strong enough to deal with that. A lot of people in their mind, they're not strong enough to deal with potentially failing or potentially missing a workout or potentially gaining a few pounds or potentially dealing with all of these things that ultimately make you feel like you're a loser, like you suck, like you're always going to be this fat sack of you know what. Like, you see what I'm saying? A lot of people believe they're not strong enough to deal with that, but I'm here to tell you that you are. That's number one. You are strong enough to deal with that.
I wish I had a clap button. I need to add
told
one.
himself his entire life that he wasn't shit.
Yes, I need to add me a clap button. That was a gem. That was a gem right there. Give it up for my man Abdul. That was a gem. You are something. Whoever you are out there, you ain't a way he say fat sack of shit or something. You not that bad. You can do it. You can do it.
Told myself my entire life I was always trash. I never was good enough to do anything. Hey, if I failed at something, good. That was destined to be. If I succeeded at something, well, I got lucky. You see how crazy that is? It's like when you fail, that's an expectation. But when you succeed at something, it's an exception to the rule. That doesn't make sense. That's a horrible way to live. A shirt pull. That's a horrible mindset to have. But a lot of us have that. A lot of us have that, and we wonder why things just don't work out the way we want them to work. Because we have this black and white mindset because of the things that we've been through. Like, we have this desire to be perfect because we've been behind the 8 ball for so many years of our lives. Sometimes all of your life, sometimes the majority, sometimes maybe even a small chunk if you're old enough. But you still feel the desire to be perfect because in your mind, if you're perfect enough, the results come faster. If you're perfect enough, the results come with a certain level of speed, and you can hurry up and stop missing out on great things. You can feel confident about your body. You can feel, comfortable in your skin. You can feel good about all of these things. If you're perfect, these things can ultimately work for you. But I'm here to tell you, that's not the way things go. Can you, over time, put yourself on a plan to where you've done the research, you've done the ins and outs, you've done what you needed to do, and you've made enough progress to the point to where now your schedule is in a position to where you can be perfect, you can be as close to perfect as possible, and you can kind of get away with a black and white mindset? Yes, you can definitely do that. However, for the majority of people, that is just not something that will work for you. It is not something. You have to be okay with fucking up. You do. You have to be okay with missing a workout. You have to be okay with giving in to temptation a little bit. You have to be okay with these things. Am I saying?
I don't know. 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 Let me think about it. Let me think about it. I don't know. I get what he's trying to say. You can't crash out if you fail or slip up. You can't. It's literally, it's no need, man. You can, I don't know if I want to use the word disappointed, but whatever. You can be disappointed, right? You can be kind of like, dang, I really ate that cupcake then, and that motherfucker was good. But I know I shouldn't have ate that. Type of thing. Get back on it. Now, but if you just like, damn, nigga, I can't never do it right, then all right, you wilding a little bit. But I feel like the first kind of reaction that I demonstrated it's not being, it's not the it's okay mindset, you know? Like I don't know. I just, in my opinion, it's just such a slippery slope with being okay, you know, because it's so easy to fall into the trap of it's okay type deal. Like, but then again, it's it's okay. It is okay. It is okay to indulge, you know. But then I don't know. Then again, it depends on where you at. I just feel like when it comes to being what's the word I'm looking for? When it comes to being okay just to use it versus being kind of strict, like this is what I'm doing, I'm sticking to the plan, I'm not changing it. I don't know. I feel a good 80-20. I ain't gonna lie. 'Cause I just feel like whatever you, if somebody tell you, hey, I can tell you how to make $10 million right now. All you gotta do is walk up and down the stairs once a day. I guarantee you don't miss a damn day. I guarantee you don't say, "Oh, it's okay if I miss a day," because that person say, hey, "You miss a day, you don't get 10 M's." Guarantee you won't miss a day. That's you know that I don't know.
Make these things a part of your daily regimen? No, I will never say that because that doesn't make sense. Nobody looks forward to failure. You don't look forward to failure. At least you shouldn't look forward to failure. I know I did. But you have to understand, at the end of the day, you're human. You have emotions. You have family members that you care about. You have things that trigger you. You have ways of thoughts that most people may not understand. Things are going to go on in your life to make you feel a certain type of way. And if you give in, you have to be okay with that and move on. I talked about this in my stress eating video. You wanting to not be a stress eater is the best possible thing for you. You not wanting to be a stress eater overnight is impossible. Because you've lived a certain chunk of your life. You've lived a certain amount of years being a stress eater to the point to where now it is a part of who you currently are, but it's not a part of who you're ultimately going to be. You have to get to the point to where even if you do give in to stress eating just a little bit, you do two things. Number one, you don't stress eat as aggressively as you used to. And then number two, which is more important, you move on. You just said, you know what? Yesterday wasn't the best day, man. We're going to get them tomorrow. Yesterday wasn't, I didn't give it 100% yesterday, but I'm a damn sure give it 100% today.
And see, that's what I was saying. Like, I mean, I will say it's some nuances in there because if you say that to a drug addict or alcoholic, you best believe that shit's not going to work. You know, an alcoholic, I guess that's why they had the word cold turkey. Not everybody can go cold turkey. You have to kind of wean yourself off. I don't know how that process works. Don't get me lying about it. But my point is, in those situations, you're not going to really say it's okay. You're not going to say, I kind of had a drink today. Let me move on type deal, But in this situation, if you do slip up, you do have to have the ability to move on. But it's a real slippery slope. I mean, I can't beat that dead horse enough. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yesterday I gave it 30% because of this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. The old me would have allowed yesterday's 30% to be tomorrow's 20%, to be the next day's 10%, to be the day after that's 5%, and then to be 0% for the next couple weeks before I pull myself out of that and try again. You don't want
now that scenario I agree with. If you allow that 30% to then drop you down to 20 because you just dwelling on it to drop you down to 5 and 0, he's 100% correct. You can't live like that. But at the same time, I feel like in the mindset of moving on, it's like, I don't even know. It just sounds so dumb. It's okay that you had that 30% day, but it's not okay, which is why you're moving on and trying to do better. I don't know.
That.
Let me know if that makes sense.
You want, okay, yesterday I gave it 50%, tomorrow I'm going to give it 85. The day after that I'm going to give it 75. The day after that I'm going to give it 95. The day after that I'm going to give it 100. And then 100 the day after that. And then 100 the day after that. And then something happened, we drop back down to 65. But hey, the next day after that we're going to give it 85. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to keep the ball rolling like that. That is real consistency.
Yeah,
a lot of people think real consistency is 100% every single time. That's not going to happen.
But the goal should be 100% every time. You're not going to go into something and be like, I'm going to give it 85% today. If you do, that's dumb. I don't agree with that. You should go in with the mentality of I'm going to give 100%. Whatever happens, you give 85, 95, it is what it is. but the mentality should be 100%. 100% of the time.
Especially with weight loss. It is not going to happen because a lot of times you are fighting two battles. You are fighting the battle within and the battle without. You see what I'm saying? I hope I said that in the right way, but I think you know what I mean. You are fighting a mental battle as well as a physical battle, and the mental battle is something that nobody can see. The only person who can really see that battle is you and maybe a few other people who went through the same things. They can probably tell by the way you move, by the way you talk, by the way you act in certain situations. That makes sense, but we can talk about that later. The battle within is so much more aggressive than the battle outside, because the battle outside is simple. You go to the gym, you eat less calories than you burn, you lift a couple weights, you walk a little bit, you get on the exercise bike, eat your veggies, eat your fiber, eat your fruits, eat your protein, you do 80-20 diet, eat the foods that you like from time to time, and you just be consistent with that and you get proper sleep, right? That's the battle outside. You know what the battle inside is? Dealing with that voice that tells you you're a fat piece of shit. Dealing with that voice that tells you that you will never achieve anything. Dealing with that voice that tells you that everything you do is a waste of time because you will always be the fat kid. You will always be that fat little boy or that fat little girl. Dealing with that voice that tells you that every single thing that you do is a waste of your life.
See, and it's people out there that are like that. And man, maybe it's just me, but that voice, that David Goggins voice that you hear in here, they're saying, hey, you ain't nothing but a fat piece of shit. You ain't ever gonna be shit. You gotta use that voice in your head and prove it wrong. I mean, I know everybody out there has proved somebody wrong in some form of fashion, and it was the best feeling you ever had. I know it was. That's what you gotta do to that voice in your head. You gotta prove that motherfucker wrong in there. Because if you think it's right, you're done.
That is the most aggressive battle that you will ever fight, and we fight this daily. I even sat in this parking spot literally trying to talk myself out of making this video because the old me does not want to be great. The old me does not want to make these videos. The old me does not want to talk about how I really feel about things. The old me wants to go eat Raising Cane's and be fat and sit and watch Dragon Ball Z abridged and old Yu-Gi-Oh videos and shit like that. That's the old me. I can't let that person live anymore. I can't let that person drive the boat. They're still there because they've always been there. They won't be here forever, but we're actively doing what we need to do to get away from that person. We're actively doing what we need to do to make sure that that person's voice is no longer heard. And if it's not heard, and if it's heard on such a level that we don't even notice it, right? We don't even notice it because the new voice is so much louder. We made so much progress. We've done so much stuff. We've made so many things happen. That's what you need to focus on. I'm here to tell you right now, if you subscribe to a black and white mindset, you are setting yourself up for failure because the minute something goes wrong, you are going to crash out.
See, I just think that definite statement right there is where I kind of, you know what I'm saying? I kind of fall back a little bit because it just depends on the individual and how that person thinks. But having the quote unquote black and white mindset, I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, maybe that's just me. The moment you fail with your black and white mindset, it ain't nothing to crash out over. You keep the mindset and you keep trying to get better. That's it. Don't crash out. That's it. I don't know why he's saying that you're going to crash out.
Convince yourself that
maybe he's talking about a specific type of person. I don't know.
Crashing out is necessary because this is not perfect. Do not chase perfection. Chase progress. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes progress. Progress equals growth. Growth equals as close to perfection as you will ever get. You see what I'm saying? Subscribe to stuff like that. Also subscribe to Abdul Aesthetics if you haven't already. But that's neither here nor there.
Subscribe to Abdul
Aesthetics. I really hope y'all
man.
enjoyed this video, man. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe.
All right. So look, check this out. What he said at the end, I'm gonna just focus on that right quick. Don't chase perfection, chase progress. I don't know. It may be one and the same. But it's tough because I feel what he's saying. If you always chase being perfect, you'll never stop chasing. You won't. Because nobody's perfect. Like he said, we all human. Nobody's perfect. You're not going to make it. But if you're chasing the perfection to try to get better every day, you're going to get the compound interest as far as progress goes is going to be higher than the person who's just not skating by, but not going as hard as you. If you're going for perfection, nobody's going as hard as you. That don't mean when you don't reach perfection, you crash out, like Abdul was saying. Don't do that. But the perfection, it's like I want to be, this good one day. If a J. Cole said once, you got to be delusional with your thoughts. You got to be delusional with your goals. And that's kind of what I'm saying. If you're not that delusional to where you think you can be perfect, I mean, you might not end up as good as you would like. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. That was a good one. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out here.